Are you looking to purchase a home in the province of Ontario? Well, I got good news for you. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before purchasing your home right here in Ontario. My name is Tom Kustra. I'm a realtor in the Greater Toronto area with eXp Realty. All my contact information is below, so if you have any questions that go outside of the scope of this video, feel free to reach out. Also, while I serve the Greater Toronto area, our brokerage is quite innovative where we don't have singular franchise offices locally. We're spread out across the entire province and basically across Canada. So if you're looking for a realtor in a different area, definitely feel free to reach out to me as well, and I'll be sure to introduce you to the right people that will help you with your home search. Let's get started with an introduction to the Ontario housing market, as well as just some general housing market terms. So in Ontario, the housing market is quite competitive, especially where I am in the Greater Toronto area. So one main thing you're going to need to know is most of the times we're in what's called a seller's market, but there's three types of markets in the real estate market. You have a buyer's market, that's where the buyers are in favor. So a lot of the cards are kind of on your, stacked in your favor, and you get to have a little more leverage, a little more negotiation when it comes to dealing with sellers. On the flip side of that, Ontario has been in a seller's market for a long time, and it's quite common to see sellers markets in Ontario, especially right now. The market has heated up for the spring. So when it comes to a seller's market, the cards are stacked up in their favor and the seller has more leverage and negotiation power. In the perfect world, the real estate market would always be in what's called a balanced market, where buyers and sellers are kind of on an equal playing field. But unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. Now, in my opinion, your first step to get started in the process is to contact a realtor. I know a lot of people may tell you that you're going to want to get a pre-approval first, and it's always nice to have a client that comes to you with a pre-approval because that means we can get the process started faster. But if you reach out to a good realtor, they should be able to introduce you to mortgage brokers, banks. They should have somebody at each bank and, an independent mortgage broker or two as well to kind of get you started on your pre-approval process as well. And a good realtor will be able to identify your needs, your problems, and tailor a solution with the right mortgage professional for you. Now, when it comes to using a realtor, a common misconception is that we cost you money. We actually don't. Working with a realtor on the buy side, it's free. It comes out of the seller. So when you go to sell your home, you're going to have to pay both the selling agent commission as well as the buyer agent commission. Now, when it comes to choosing a realtor, one thing you're going to really want to do is pick somebody that you trust and you feel that they're going to provide you the service you deserve. Trust is a very important factor when working with your realtor because obviously purchasing a home is going to be one of your biggest purchases in your entire lifetime. And, as a realtor, we do have a fiduciary duty to you, but unfortunately, our industry is filled with a few bad apples that may not have your best interests at heart. And now, when it comes to this, I run my business in a relationship-based business versus transactional. So I'm not after you for one commission, gonna just get a one and done and run away from you. I will be in your life for pretty much the majority of my life and your life. Hopefully you do outlive me. But basically, the way I look at myself is I like to think of myself as your family realtor, where just like you may have a family doctor or a family dentist, I want to be that trusted professional for you and your family to go to when you need some kind of expertise on the real estate market. Now, again, this is all relationship based and it's not transactional. So if you're just curious about hey Tom, where's the market at right now? Always happy to have those conversations. And I'm never the type of person that's going to push you to get into a transaction right now. Also, when you're choosing your realtor, it's good to interview them as if you would interview somebody during a job interview. So you want to ask them questions that are relevant to you and your home search. One big thing I highly recommend most people to do is ask your realtor to set expectations right off the bat before you even technically hire them. So ask them hey, how's the showing process going to work? Are you going to take me to the homes yourself, or are you going to send me to open houses on the weekends? Because in my opinion, no realtor should be sending their clients to open houses because generally speaking, at an open house, it's going to be the seller's agent there and they can poke and prod and gather some information from you where your realtor would have your back and make sure that you don't divulge this information to them. Great, now you found your realtor. So what you're going to want to do next is start what I call the educational phase. So you're going to want to consult with your realtor. If you've already kind of chosen out some areas that you want to move to, consult with them on the best neighborhoods. Develop a plan, strategize, let them understand what exactly you're looking for. How many beds, everything like that, how many bathrooms, whether you want to be in a condo, townhome, detached, whatever. A good realtor will consult with you and make sure they understand exactly what you're looking for. And then to go beyond that, what I always do for my clients when we're in this educational phase, once we've developed at least somewhat of a strategy on, okay, we're going to be looking at homes in this area, I'm going to go into that area on the MLS and pick all the homes that sold within the last month or two and send them to you so you actually see what's selling on the market and for how much, so that you're better educated as a buyer. You found a realtor, you've started doing some homework, and you're understanding the market better. Now you're going to want to get a pre-approval and really understand your budget. Understanding your budget is crucial to the process because you want to make sure that you're comfortable with your monthly mortgage payments as well as other things that may come up. So for instance, we're going to have lawyer fees, your down payment, everything like that. Getting a pre-approval done, very, very important. As your realtor, I would never allow you to put in an offer on any property without having a pre-approval in place, because we want to make sure that we know exactly how much we can spend so that you're not put into a bad situation where you can't actually close on a property. Some of the costs you're going to incur when it comes to purchasing a home is going to be your moving, your lawyer, your land transfer tax in Ontario is going to be a huge one. And if you're in the city of Toronto, it's going to be a double land transfer tax because you have to do the provincial and the municipal. Now, I'm not going to get into exactly how much the land transfer tax costs here. It's going to be unique to every property. But if you want to get an idea of how much that costs, I'm going to link a good land transfer tax calculator down in the description of this video. A common misconception when it comes to down payments in Ontario is that you need to put 20% down. Actually, that's only true after you get over $1 million in purchase price. Anything up to $500,000, you're going to need to put down at least 5% with mortgage insurance or 20% for no mortgage insurance. But getting that mortgage insurance, even though it's an added cost to your mortgage, it does allow people to get into a property sooner rather than having to wait to get the full 20% down. Now, after $500,000, what happens is on the first $500,000, you're going to have a 5% cost. So let's say on $500K, that's going to be $25,000. Let's say the purchase price is $600,000 for argument's sake. Anything additional after $500 up to $1 million is going to be another 10%. So on a $600,000 property, that's going to be an additional $10,000, bringing your grand total on a $600,000 property to $35,000. Choosing the right location for your move. This is going to be important, and this is also going to come in that educational phase that we previously spoke about. But when it comes to choosing the right location, you're going to want to think about your lifestyle, your job. Do you want to commute? Are your kids going to school? What stage of your life are you in? Do you want to be in a more quiet area? Do you want to be in a rural environment? Or do you want to be somewhere in more of like a city environment? This is, again, something you should really consult with your realtor. Even though you might have a good idea of what area you want to actually move to, your realtor may be able to make suggestions based on your lifestyle that might actually fit you a little better. You have a pre-approval in hand, you've picked your realtor, and now you have an idea of where exactly you want to move to. So this is where the fun starts to happen, the home searching process. So when it comes to searching for a home, you can use tools online like Realtor.ca, House Sigma, but your realtor should also be sending you properties directly from their website and give you a link where you can actually go and click through all the current inventory on the market as well. So what I always do for my clients is I set up what's called a home search alert with my website, and that basically is going to send you all the properties that you basically would want or that meet your criteria. So for example, 3 bedrooms, Oshawa, Ontario, close to the lake. We can dive in real deep with some of these criterias and really hone in on a specific area and get pretty crafty with it. If you want to just get a home search alert set up for you regardless, I'm going to have a Google form down in the description of this video as well. Fill that out and I'll set up a home search alert for you right away before we even get through all the other stuff that we went through previously in this video. Beyond just the online searches, a good realtor should have some off-market opportunities for you as well. So obviously as realtors, we network with other realtors. We have lots of friends in the industry that may have something coming to the market soon, or we might actually have something ourselves that's coming to the market soon that meets your criteria perfectly. So your realtor is a goldmine resource when it comes to actually finding the right home. Now that you have a couple homes that you've selected that you want to see, you're going to put in a request to your realtor to actually go and see these homes. So on my first round of showings, when I take clients out, I like to book a good solid 3 to 4 hours and see as many homes as physically possible so that I can better serve you by understanding exactly what you need. Because you might think, oh, I need 3 bedrooms, but then you get into a 3-bedroom house and you say, well, Tom, I don't have kids. I don't really need all this space. This is actually more space than I imagined. So as your realtor, when we're out on the first round of showings and we're looking at a handful of properties, I'm always reading cues off you, reading facial expressions, seeing what brings joy, what brings happiness, and what brings disgust, what you like, what you don't like. And I'm also asking you questions that pertain to this as well. Again, really nailing down the criteria and having your realtor understand what you need is going to help you in the long run. Keep in mind that this is just the first round of showings, and you're very, very rarely going to actually find your home on that first round of showings. But if you do, then you're going to get into the offer process. Now, the offer process is quite complicated, and there's a lot to go over here. So we're going to start very simply with one piece of advice that I tell everybody: never get emotional. Real estate, while yes, it's a transaction to purchase a home, and there are going to be a lot of emotions involved in that purchase, I highly recommend you don't get emotional because it is a business transaction, and the money, the numbers, everything has to line up beyond your emotions. When it comes to negotiating the offer, your realtor is going to do most of the work. You're going to basically give them instructions on how much you can go up to, and a good realtor will try and get you as low as possible off that number, because obviously we want you to get the home for as cheap as possible. I don't care about my commission. A few $100s to save you $50,000 really is going to give me peace of mind and help me sleep at night better. When it comes to drafting up that offer, you're going to go through what's called a CMA, so a comparable market analysis. You're going to look at other homes that sold in that neighborhood with your realtor and come to a fair market value for that property. A good realtor should have data and facts to back up why a property is worth how much and at what point you're overpaying or at what point you're getting a hell of a deal. When you write an offer, there's a few key points that are going to be part of this offer. So irrevocability, this is going to be how long that offer is actually good up until. So let's say, for instance, it's Monday and we're putting in an offer good up until 11:59 p.m. Tuesday morning at 12 a.m., that offer is no longer a legally binding contract. Price, now this is a big one. Every seller wants the most money for their home, so price is going to go a long way in terms of making your offer strong. But there's also conditions that can be added into an offer, such as a home inspection clause or a finance clause. So when it comes to the conditions, this also can make your offer either appear stronger or weaker, especially if you're in a multiple offer situation. So if you have, let's say, 20 offers on a property, yours is at 10,000 over yours is 10,000 over the next highest, and you're in first place in terms of price. But maybe you have a finance and a home inspection clause. As a buyer, that gives you an out from the contract should you not want to proceed with the purchase. And somebody that's firm with $10,000 less in money may actually get that property over you just based on the fact that their deal is firm, and as soon as that contract's signed, the house is now sold. Now, here's a very ninja trick that you can use to stand up above all the other offers and all the other people that may bid on a property that you're interested in. What I always recommend to all my buyer clients is to write a personalized letter to the seller, which we include in the PDF that's part of the offer document. So it actually has to legally be presented to that seller. And in that letter, what we're going to be doing is, obviously, I said in this part, no emotions, but we're going to be appealing to the seller's emotions. So you don't want to be emotional about it, but you want to get the seller on the emotional side. So let's say, for instance, as a shark of a realtor, I'm always looking for little things when we're going through a home. So for instance, you might notice that, some of the furniture and wares are very old, and it may be an elderly couple or an elderly widower that's now looking to move into a retirement area. we might pull at their heartstrings and say, we love what you've done with the home, how you've taken care of it, and we could see our family being as happy here as yours. And just little things that you strategize, you give a little bit of information about yourselves as the buyers in that personalized letter to the seller. And obviously you're going to want to tug at those heartstrings and really appeal to their emotions. You'll be surprised how far these letters can actually go in terms of getting your offer accepted. Congrats, we got an accepted offer. That house is yours. You might get a phone call like this from me or your realtor. Once this happens, you're on the road to closing. If there's conditions in the offer, such as a finance clause or a home inspection clause, you're going to need to work with your realtor and your lender to actually fulfill these conditions and firm up the offer. Once these conditions have been fulfilled and your offer is now firm, you're going to be needing to hire a lawyer and hire a moving company. Lawyer's going to be very important because they're going to make sure the title is free and clear, and they're going to take care of all the actual closing parts, but your realtor should be with you for every step of the process as well. So in the background, your realtor, your lender, and your lawyer, they're all going to be communicating, and they're going to be making sure the deal's moving forward in the way it should. Now you're on the road to closing day. So what I do when I work with buyers is I put a clause in the contract that allows home buyer visits. So once the deal's gone firm, you can actually return to the property 2 to 3 times generally to get measurements, bring in paint samples, bring in flooring samples, and get an idea of any renovations or improvements you may want to do to the property. You're also going to want to start looking at your moving plan. So whether that's going to be you renting a U-Haul truck and taking care of the move yourself, or hiring movers, very crucial that you plan the move out and actually strategize it for closing day. Beyond that, you're going to also want to reach out to utility companies, change over your driver's license, little things like that, and generally just get ready for the move. Before you close on the property, generally a day or 2 before, your realtor and you don't have to be on site for this, but you can be if you want to. You go and do what's called a final walkthrough. So on your final walkthrough of the property, your realtor is going to be looking at things like, do all the appliances still work? Is the water working? Are all the plugs working? Basically, you want to make sure that property is in the same state as when you looked at it and when you purchased it, because if there's anything wrong with the property, that needs to be addressed before closing date so the lawyer has more leverage to actually work with.
Editing Tom here. Closing day is simple. You get the keys and moving. Enjoy your new home smiley face.
That's going to be pretty much a good majority of the steps that you need to do in order to actually purchase a property here in Ontario. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Again, I'm Tom Kustra, a local realtor to the Greater Toronto Area with eXp Realty. We're basically across the entire country, so no matter where in Canada you're looking to purchase a property, you can feel free to reach out to me and I'd be happy to introduce you to the right realtor or be that realtor for you if you're in the Greater Toronto Area. Just to go beyond this video, if you'd like this information in words, I do have a free buyer's guide. The link will be down below. I'd highly appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you got yourself some value out of this video, because it helps me grow my business and it helps me grow my channel here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have yourself a lovely day.